People that think that I have the perfect life, no, I don't have a perfect life. You know, sometimes because of like social media, you show that you do. I remember when I was little, everybody would be like, Lily, make us laugh. Lily, fall. I didn't want to do it, but I wanted friends, so I would do it.
She's a genius. She gets up every day and she creates.
We've got to prove to the world that she is an actual artist. She's not the girl who just got 30 million followers and decided to make music.
I just have to do it one more time.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Just I did it 2 times, I did it 3. Just one more time.
No, hold on to it. Hold on to it. You can. We're gonna do it together.
One more time.
I know, no, you can do it.
When a person struggles with OCD, it's a very serious matter.
When I was little, my OCD was I had to put a pillow in my head. I had to be at least 1 minute without breathing. And if I made it, I was gonna be happy.
She can resolve the most complex things in ways that takes no effort, but then she's incapable of writing a check. She's incapable of turning off a light.
You can't really create cultural impact without being a little bit, off-center. Like that space off-center, it's where you find the good ones.
Lele is one of the most bullied people on the internet. They just treat her as if she's some sort of product and forget that she's a human. There's no one out there that it wouldn't hurt.
It's just like, when did it all become that? When did it all become so, like, evil, you know? And then, like, what's happening here is that people are making hating me cool. Sometimes I black out, I just want to end it.
She's been struggling with OCD for over a decade, every single day of her life.
Am I scared to tell people? Yes. Am I scared of what they might say? Yes. But am I embarrassed? No. My name is Lily Pons, and I suffer from OCD, Tourette's, ADHD, and depression. I have OCD. OCD doesn't leave you. In times that I'm sad, in times that I'm going through stuff, OCD is there. It's just really hard because there's triggers, and in OCD, if you are triggered, let's just say to do something, you have to do it.
OCD is a kind of thing that people can make jokes about or think, hey, I have OCD. That's not what we're really talking about when we talk about OCD. The big thing is that the D part, it's a disorder.
Since I was a little girl, I had different OCDs. OCD is more like you're obsessed with something. It can be rituals, it can be like numbers, it can be anything, but it takes over.
People experience this as thoughts that just kind of come into their head, or images or physical sensations that they don't want and they seek to get rid of.
My OCD is thoughts, very, very powerful thoughts that make me do stuff that I don't want to do.
My brain as well is like, it has like a thing that it's like really like 13 years old.
The way her brain functions, the way her brain processes information and expresses information is totally different than any of us. The best way to describe it is she can resolve the most complex things in ways that takes no effort, but then she's incapable of writing a check. She's incapable of turning off a light or opening a door or closing a door. She's incapable of taking care of herself at times, but she's capable of taking care of hundreds of people at the same time. All she has been trying to do all her life is to find a balance between the things that are expected from the world in which she lives and her mind. It's a struggle that is 24 hours a day.
When I was little, it got to a point that I could not move from my car, and I stayed an hour there doing some rituals and touching things, and my dad had to carry me out of the car. And then after that, he was like, there's something wrong with my daughter, like, this is weird.
I begin to know that she had something bad when she began to touch 3 times the door of my room. And I told her, why you do that? Because one is for me, one for my father, and one for your mom. I remember.
I just had to touch everything. And if I didn't touch everything, like I thought my family was gonna die. So I started touching everything. I was afraid of doors.
After that, she began, for example, to be stuck. She doesn't want to go to the bed, and she in the door. She was stuck, and she doesn't want to walk.
They tend to avoid almost all experience. They avoid their thoughts. They avoid anything that makes them feel uncomfortable. And as they avoid it, the more they have these experiences they don't want, and they create a vicious circle.
They took me to Katia, and she was like, she has severe OCD.
Like the type that can like ruin your career. Because like many times if I didn't take medication, then I'm gonna tell you right now, I wouldn't be where I am. Maybe, imagine like on stage, I just get stuck. Imagine that. It makes me emotional, but it makes me more emotional when somebody else says it. It hurts me more. Because it's just like, it kind of like reassurance that I do have a problem, you know? I feel like when I say it, I have control of it. But when my therapist says it, and my dad and my mom said it, since they've been struggling for like years, it hurts me a lot.
As an 11-year-old female who was diagnosed with OCD, Tourette's syndrome, attention deficit disorder, and ADHD.
When I first met Lily, she came in as an emergency situation because she got stuck in a car. She was stuck turning on and off faucets.
The shower still today, I have to turn off the sink 3 times.
She couldn't really function, and they were struggling to get her to school, eat, sleep, do any of the basic activities that she needed to do.
When you have like a condition that controls you most of the time, you wish you didn't have that.
I know, like you embarrassing videos, huh? Go sit down. Don't move. Stay. Hold on. We're gonna do it. All right, try to relax the hand and don't push the toe. You're doing a good job. See how the toe wants to curl? Relax the toes. There you go. Just hang in there for a second.
I just have to do it one more time.
Don't do it.
Just I did it 2 times and then 3. Just one more time.
No, hold on to it. You can. We're gonna do it together.
One more time.
I know, no. You can do it. Hang in there. It's gonna go away, the feeling.
I don't know who that girl is. Well, obviously it's me. It got really bad, and I don't want it to get like that anymore.
No moving. Ha! Yeah. No.
1 second.
No. Let it go. I know. Don't. No. Don't. Let it go. You could do it. Usually I don't prompt someone so many times. That's not a protocol. But at that moment, you need to do anything to get them to even start. Now what do you feel?
It's mostly this. It's always this side.
Lily was having such a hard time. She was engaging in everything that she felt like OCD was giving to her, all the feelings. She needed to get rid of the feelings, right? And our job in the therapy is the opposite, not to get rid of the feeling, to have that feeling, tolerate that feeling until that feeling becomes less and less and less.
My deepest, darkest secret is that I have OCD, and I've had it for most of my life. It's been a real struggle. I'm still struggling to actually come out as someone that is diagnosed with it.
Among this combination of conditions sometimes are social issues and learning differences. For example, some people are extremely strong visual learners.
When I was little, I would communicate with my mom and dad through sketches, and I have a lot of them. I did this because I didn't really talk as much, and all of these meant something. I had a lot of learning disabilities, so I communicated with people through these drawings. If I wanted, like, to say I want to go to the bathroom, I would just draw a little girl going to the bathroom. Papi, I want pizza. That's what I would draw.
She would spend hours and hours sitting forever drawing booklets, creating storyboards of what would happen when a girl meets a boy.
When I was younger, I would just draw things that I wanted to tell them, like, Mom, Dad, can you kiss? It would be like kind of like drawings in sequences.
She would rather use her art in order to express herself than to have to stand up and be interviewed or talk in public. It's a hard thing for her.
Or a crocodile.
Well, she always drew a lot of pictures. I think drawing gave her a lot of peace. At the beginning, she needed some reinforcement in learning how to read and learning how to do math. We did like 3 hours a day. She was very determined.
It's really interesting that a person can be completely dysfunctional, even homebound, and yet they can be incredibly productive artistically or professionally, or have an area of talent that kind of just seems to stand out from everything else that they do.
Even though she struggled with things, all the physical teams was very fast. She danced all the time. She never did that.
Crawl.
Never. She go up and she walk. This is a very beautiful painting that she did. Beautiful, huh?
Beautiful.
Yes, she loved to paint. Lele spent a lot of time with her family. And I think that this helped her a lot with her imagination. All people want to know what is here inside here.
Oh my God, Isa.
No,
Isa,
here.
wait. Isa, wait. I'm gonna call Isa because Isa and me did it. Isa, wait.
Lele.
Is that my first tooth?
Yes.
That is so, like, what? That probably smells.
Lele.
Wow. Isa, bro.
Stop. Stop. That's, oh my God.
Okay, so me and Isadora, we wanted to be cousins forever, so we made a ritual and a pact. So we threw our saliva, our little blood, our hair in this, and it's all here. Like, it's a red diamond for blood. Look at the hair, Isa.
Stop, Lily. That's so embarrassing.
Look at the hair. I got the hair. That's yours.
Okay, tu diente.
Mama. When I was younger, my best friends and my only friends were my family and my cousins.
We were all very close, and it was like we were growing up as siblings. You know, even though she was our cousin, she was basically our sister.
We got to see very different sides of her. She would always be changing personalities at one point or being energetic at the other point, and you know, it was like watching a show all the time.
She was always very high energy, spontaneous, a little aggressive, but the good kind, competitive, but she always wanted to make everybody laugh.
She always wanted people around her. Every time she was alone, you could tell she would get upset.
I was really dorky and I was really ugly, and it was really lonely because I barely had any friends.
Kids can be very mean, because maybe they want to act cool, and they see someone like Lele being so spontaneous and energetic that they kind of feel intimidated, and they tend to bully people that are different.
During high school, I found Vine. I saw it as an opportunity to make friends and to find new people that can actually relate to me.
What she was doing with Vine was actually taking short pictures or videos, short videos, and putting all these frames exactly the same way she used to do it. For her, it was so natural to communicate that way.
Vine was a video app that you would post 6-second videos in about anything you wanted. It was pranks, magic, skits. I really liked Vine because nobody really knew me. And then people in my school started noticing, and I got a lot of new friends after that.
Bless you. Lele skipped the lunch at school to make vines. Lele, when she arrived at home, she didn't want to make the homework, but she wanted to make vines. And then at the last moment, the homework.
My first Vine was actually in chemistry class, and I was like, look, I got an F. Just like kind of showing my friends like, hey, I hate school, get me out of here. I got an F, hell yeah.
It kind of a little bit, it worried me because she became very trapped in the social media part of it and having to respond, like not sleeping and kind of having to do and then wanting to be the best. But I knew it was also the perfect medium for her.
This is a new field in which she's so good at it. So you need to let her do this because this is the way for her to express herself. This was not just an application. This was not just a game. This was for her a profession. This is what she wanted to do.
I got an A.
I first heard about Lele when I was on Vine. At the time, she had like 70,000 followers, but she was just known for the craziest stunts. Like, every video I'd see of her, it'd be like, how the hell isn't she in the hospital? Every single one.
She actually showed me the first time that she wanted to make a Vine, and she had maybe, I think, 5 people that liked what she did or something, and she was so excited about that. Now I have 1,000 followers, and now I have 10,000 followers. I'm like, oh my God.
This is when you couldn't edit it. You had to record it on Vine. We would do the takes over and over again, and if you messed up one thing, you'd start over, and she's a perfectionist. So we'd spend the entire day doing a 6-second video.
During the Vine days, a lot of my OCD came out, but no one really knew. For example, like I had to get hit right and perfect. All the stunts that I would do, it wasn't one take, I would do it like 17 times. And even if it was perfect and people were like, it's perfect, you got hit perfectly, I'd be like, no. It wasn't perfect enough. It has to be perfect. If it's not perfect, I'm a failure, I'm a loser. And
in high school, she would come to my house unannounced and just say, oh, Lolo, can you come and help me with this video? Like, I need to do this, I need to do that. And she would take things that are so relatable. She did such an amazing job. Like, her creativity is genius. She's like a genius when it comes to that stuff.
It got to a point that I did not want to be like everybody else, so I started doing my own stunts. I started being that girl that did it for the Vine, that girl that was like, oh my gosh, she would do anything.
What I really liked about Lele was that she had no fear and like just went for it, no shame. Like, didn't care about what anybody thought of her. And I was like, that's something I want to learn from Lele, is to not care what people think and just do whatever you think is good.
No, I can't! I never wanted to be a comedian. I never wanted to do funny videos. Doing funny videos was a distraction to OCD, to what was going on.
When Vine closed, Kim Batch, he was the man with most views in Vine, and Lele was the woman with most views. The king and the queen of Vine, yes, yes.
And I think at the end of it all, people understood that external validation was amazing, and people started understanding that she was doing something more relevant than just playing with her phone.
I was the only one that was Vining in my school, and it really took off. And then there was a time where Vine was dying, so everybody was moving to YouTube, and I was actually one of the first to move from Vine to Instagram.
So Lele conquered Instagram, becoming one of the biggest people on Instagram. And then from there, I transitioned into YouTube, becoming one of the biggest creators on YouTube. She leaned very hard into the physical comedy, and she was extremely daring. Didn't care who knew it, what she looked like, and how it was gonna come off. She would do it anyway.
And after years of doing skits on YouTube, on Vine, on Instagram. I decided to go back to my love for music.
Now give it a little extra breath on the high note, put your arms in the air, drop them on the high note.
I don't remember a time where she didn't sing. Ever since I can remember, you know, she's 4 years older, so when I was little, she would always be the singer, the singer, the singer. It was like, where did this come from? My aunt doesn't sing, my uncle doesn't sing. So they started searching, and it was her great-grandma from her dad's side had some correlation to music.
All the way forward. With Laylee, I try to go down the checklist of all the vocal things I would tell her as a voice teacher. I try to get her in that performing state where she feels confident and she feels secure about what she's doing, that she's really connected to the song, and to find the joy in it. So why don't we try it with the instrumental, okay? You want to use the microphone?
Yeah.
Okay, you want to stand up? She's new at all of this, so you have to kind of remind her of that and have her focus in on what exactly are my strengths? What can I give to this audience that maybe somebody else can't? And I think little by little, she's finding that along the way.
She has an amazing voice. She has a tremendous voice since we were little. She would admire Christina Aguilera, Shakira. I would say that ever since after high school, she finally got the courage to show people that she could sing.
I'm very socially awkward sometimes, so I had a lot of just trouble singing in public. I didn't think I could do it.
It was fascinating that through a series of modification behavior therapy, she was able to overcome the fear to sing in public. And I think her therapy was brilliant, because what she did was to expose her and to force her to do this in the supermarket or in a mall in front of people.
I never saw that fear. Maybe because she was more comfortable with us. You know, she would sing to us and everything. But I think the fear of rejection, of people not liking it as an artist, because it's her passion, you're scared of what people are gonna say, you know?
When you create and you put it out there, you become vulnerable. Like, it's just part of the process of being an artist.
I think to be a performer, you have to have a little bit of a thicker leather type of skin to be able to handle some of the things that you have to handle.
She wants to make sure that she optimizes things, right? So she has to be the best at this. Always comparing, and that feeling that you need to meet some criterias. And that drives you sometimes, but that's, a lot of times is a really big negative.
I can't stop comparing myself to people in a very unhealthy way. It's like the same thing as negative comments. That just shifted to another thing, which is me comparing myself to other things. Like, it's not a specific anything. It's just like, it's so difficult because it just like, it finds me, like I can be like scrolling and then I see this one girl and I'm just like, her mole is bigger than yours. Like that. And it's like driving me crazy.
You know, there's insecurities, tons of insecurities that she deals with as being a female on the internet that gets an insane amount of hate all the time.
Hey, Katya.
Hey, how are you, Sam?
I think there's like a few things that we're trying to figure out how to improve. And more recently, if like somebody's hair looks better online, right? Or something like somebody on Instagram, where you start comparing yourself to them.
Right, and guys, just remember there are a lot of the perfectionism part here. Lily has this perfectionism and this thing that, you know, she has to do it right and she needs to win and she needs to be good at what she does. So,
What's the difference between a perfectionist and what Laylee's going?
Right, so perfectionism in reality, you know, is not just being perfectionistic, like, oh, I like everything to be perfect, is a person that can even function because things have to be so right and so correct that they can't even, you know, put out their work. So even what you've said in the past, which is like, unless everyone has positive comments, you don't want to do your job.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for Lele, this is something she struggled with her whole life.
That's what's annoying. OCD is thoughts. It's thoughts that are just like sometimes like life and death thoughts. For example, when I was little, my OCD was I had to put a pillow in my head and I had to be at least 1 minute without breathing. And if I made it, I was gonna be happy. I can suffocate, you know, like maybe I can make it for a minute. But that's what it took for me to be happy, which is a mess. Yeah. When traumatic events happen, I tend to relive the moment, and if I don't picture what happened or the moment perfectly, I feel uncomfortable and my OCD just kicks in until I see everything perfectly. Like, what you usually do in the situation is you kind of see the picture and then blur it out. And even though it makes me feel uncomfortable, it's the only way to actually fight back this OCD.